Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Resellers Rantin and Ravin. How are you doing tonight, Pittsburgh Picker Adam and Sarah?
Good.
Craig's mom. Is it just Craig's mom? Why is it just Craig's mom, Sarah?
Because of this Cabbage Patch that I got, and his name was Craig. So, and then I ended up selling him, and then I just regretted it. So it was one of the first Cabbage Patches I ever flipped. So now I'm Craig. I'm Craig's mom.
No.
Kind of starting it off on a sad note, little tiny playing right there. That's right. I'm so glad y'all made it to the show, though, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
We're happy to be here.
Excellent. Of course, we got Philly Flipper in the house already. He's like, "What's WhatNot?"
What's up, Paul?
We'll get to that, Paul.
Paul knows.
Kitty cat tail. Kitty cat tail. And Marcus is here from Dixon's Pixins. Hey, guys. What's going on, Marcus? Thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. Well, y'all have a good week so far. It's Wednesday. You've been selling for the past 3 days, right? How many sales have you made? Made a lot of money?
No.
No.
No, it's been a slow week. We've been.
It really has, hasn't it?
Okay, yeah, it's everywhere, it seems. I think.
And you know, if you were to ask this guy right here, he'd say it's all about what you list, blah, 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 blah. That's why we don't have him on the show right now.
That's right.
But yeah, mine have been kind of low too. And I don't know why. I mean, I've been listing too. We have a live listing on Friday night just to kind of kick off the weekend. And the weekend was just so in comparison to the previous week, right? So
Yeah.
In fact, the weekend before was pretty good.
I agree.
We did really well the weekend before. And then this week has just been
Yesterday was really, really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of slow, right?
We only had 8 total sales today. We've had 17, so it's better.
Whoa, today's a good day.
Well, I mean, they're lower dollar. We're used to 25 to 30, so.
Yeah. How many Cabbage Patch kids are in that 17?
One.
Just one?
Yeah.
Look at it. Show it off, Adam. There you go. Free shipping. That's cool, dude. Well, we got Red Dirt Picker in the house. Thanks for joining us tonight, Red Dirt Picker. And Johnny's here. Return of Johnny.
Hello,
everyone. I don't know why I say it with that kind of accent. That's just how I hear it every time I read it.
I hear the Jerry Seinfeld thing every time I see it.
I
don't know why. Hello.
There you go. Oh man, Rick, unload it all. Howdy, y'all. Thanks for joining us. Do appreciate it, Rick. Paul says it is slower than usual, but I still had 20 sales. I get tongue tied like you do, Adam. Still had 20 sales Monday and Tuesday.
Have Sarah read them. That's what I do.
Do you? Angie's Oddities is here. I'm here to learn about WhatNot. Good. I think you've come to the right place. This past week stunk, but the weekend was awesome. Good. I'm glad you had a great weekend, Angie. And then look, Ken is here. SSK promo. Thanks for joining us, Ken. We are going to talk about WhatNot for sure. That is the topic for this evening. In fact, I've got a special game around WhatNot and things of that nature. But I wanted to begin talking to you guys about reselling in general, because I want to know a little bit about your backstory. So let me go to you first, Adam. How long have you been reselling, and do you consider yourself full-time or part-time?
I consider myself full-time. My other job is part-time, so this is my primary source of income. But we've been at it for 3 years, almost 3 years now.
All right.
We haven't been at it for long, but 3 years. And to be honest with you, I don't have the thrifting background. I really didn't go to thrift stores much until me and Sarah met, and then that was kind of our thing. And we used to go and look for records because we were both kind of record collectors, and that kind of started the bug. And then years later, we rolled into reselling. We fell into it by accident. Well, I guess it really wasn't accidental.
How can you fall into it by accident?
I'll tell you the story. So my mom ran a storage facility and they got bought out by a big corporation. Long story short, she ended up losing the job. And months before she lost the job, they had a storage the auction, like Storage Wars and everything, where someone came and bid on and the guy who won the locker was really well known to my mom, and they were friends and stuff like that. And he was like, "Hey, my guys just left. They left these 2 boxes here." He goes, I don't know why they're here. He's like, would your guy just throw them away for me? And she's like, yeah, no problem. So she looked in them, and there was a bunch of, I'm going to mispronounce it. What are they?
Kachina dolls.
Kachina dolls. Like they're little Native American wooden hand-carved statues.
Okay.
And she sent them to me, and she's like, do you think these are worth anything? And so we looked them up, and, the way you look things up when you're not a reseller is you look and see what people are asking for them, and you're like, yeah, these are worth a ton. So she's like, well, I'll mail them to you. She's like, there's 2 big boxes for them. I'll mail them to you, sell them on eBay or wherever, and, keep the money or we'll split it. And we're like, okay. So we started listing them on eBay.
That's how you fell into
That's it.
reselling.
Well, and then what happened inevitably is it's like these, like,
The bug bit you.
Yeah.
But it bit us harder than everybody else because some of the statues were damaged when they got here.
Oh.
And when we listed the damaged ones, people bought them.
Yeah.
Anyway, right?
Yeah. And we were
that's
like,
nuts.
Yeah.
this is weird. So we started looking on YouTube. Like, is this a living? Can you do this as a side hustle? And that's when we found, your Harry Tornado, your Rally Roots, your Cincinnati Picker, your Common, and all. Like, so we started kind of doing this, and
yeah,
the rest is history.
That's excellent. You literally fell into it that way.
Literally,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, William Filchek is here. That's a new name. William, how are you? Hey, hardest working people in Pittsburgh.
He's the OG fan. He was one of my very first comments ever on YouTube.
Very cool.
Yeah.
William, look at you, man. They're going to always remember you, my friend.
Always.
So, Sarah, you were
Yes.
you were thrifting then before you met Adam because he said he wasn't originally a thrifter.
My grandparents and my dad were my dad's parents, my grandparents on my dad's side. My whole dad's side was all hoarders and thrifters and collectors.
Right.
My mom's side was not. So like when I was little, like my dad and I would go to like antique stores and we would go to like yard sales and we would go thrifting and stuff like that. And I never obviously I was a child, so it wasn't like reselling, but when my grandparents both passed away and my dad inherited everything, we actually did sell a good deal of it on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And we got into it kind of that way, but then I went to college and, I kind of just lost touch with it, but then I got back into it again.
There you go.
Yeah.
So are you enjoying yourself or is it just the frustrating job and you're looking for something else?
I enjoy it 90% of the time.
Right.
10% of the time, I'm like, I just want to go back to the office, put in 8 hours, come home and be done with it.
Like literally minutes before we came on.
No, that was like yesterday.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the candle people.
Oh, yeah, those candle people.
So, Sarah, you worked in an office cubicle job, I'm guessing? Something like kind of what
you do
on a daily basis?
Yeah, I was a supervisor there for like 11 years.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it hard to get away from it?
Well,
Adam just immediately started laughing at that question.
It would have been because
there must be some sort of unspoken joke there.
Well, I guess so. I was there for like 11 years and I said, whenever I feel like we're making enough money that I can quit and we can be okay, then I'm going to quit my job. And I I fully expected to put in a 2 weeks notice, but the environment I was working in was so toxic that if I put in a 2 weeks notice, I was just going to get beaten down until they weren't going to let me quit. So I just walked out in the middle of the day.
There you go. Wow.
Epic.
Mic drop. Yeah. Peace.
No, it was way more than that because her boss chased her out into the parking lot. Yeah.
Did they try to beg you back or something like that?
Yeah.
For weeks after.
Yeah.
Since you didn't give, I'm just curious. I'm sorry. If it's just tell me pass if it's too much of a personal question.
No worries.
Did since you didn't give a 2 weeks notice or any kind of notice whatsoever, did they not give you all the benefits you were expecting to get or anything like that? You still got everything you were supposed to get.
Oh yeah, and I still everybody there that still works there.
God, that's nuts though, man.
Said they would give me a positive reference.
Yeah, I'm totally like the scene in like Office Space is going through my mind right now, right? Where you're like, you're like beating printers up with baseball bats, and
it was the Sarah version of that. Yeah,
drop themselves, and I don't.
It was funny because I like taken my keys and I had put them. I took them up front. I'm like, that's it. I can't do this anymore. I just can't handle this. Like I was just so stressed out and so overwhelmed. I'm like, here's my keys. I'm not coming back. I was out in the parking lot. I was like, oh my God, I forgot my Yeti coffee mug. That was like the only thing I cared about.
Did you go back in for the Yeti? Please tell me.
My friend got it for me.
There you go. Got to have a pal in the office, right?
The funny thing about her leaving too was when my phone rang, and she very seldom called me in the middle of the afternoon, and if she did, she called me from her office number, and my phone rang, and it was like 12:30, and it was her cell phone, and I'm like, either somebody's in the hospital or Sarah quit her job. And I answered the phone and I'm like, did you quit? And she's like, oh my God, I quit my job.
I was like falling.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
That's excellent, man. That's excellent.
And she's like, I thought you'd be mad at me. I'm like, no. I'm like, this is the best thing you ever did.
But it is working for you, right? Like, best thing you ever did, I assume, right? Excellent. So let's change gears just a little bit here. You started at eBay. You said you've been doing this for 3 years. What else do you sell on other than eBay? Are you on other platforms?
Poshmark, Macari, and WhatNot, and eBay.
Poshmark, Macari, WhatNot, eBay. Okay.
Yes.
We were Facebook Marketplace, but it's just too clunky.
Oh, I kind of like it. Better than Macari, to be honest with you. But
Macari's awful.
Yeah, Macari's not great. But
I was actually going to have a little Macari Rantin and Ravin show this week. There's lots going on around there.
Yeah.
So WhatNot is completely different from any of those. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Like
it's completely different.
Completely different horse of its own color, right? Oh, Jake snuck in here. Hey, Jake, what's up? Have you made it back home? Who is? Hey, if it flips, it ships. Thanks for joining us.
That's a great name.
If it flips, it ships. That's a new one for us. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate you. I was just watching a Philly video toy haul. All right. And you turned it off and came in here. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. So WhatNot, completely different beast. Something, I mean, would you consider it something it's going to take by storm? Like, what are your first impressions of, how long's it been here? For 6 months now, maybe?
I think the company's been in existence for a year or so, but they just started reaching our community within the last like 6 months, I'd say.
So what are your impressions at this point? You've been on there for over a month now. Do you think, just high level, and we'll dig into the details, do you think that it is something that's going to just take off? Like there's no stopping it. It's going to go somewhere. Everybody needs to jump on this train. What do you think?
Do you want to go first, Sarah? Because I know you have a difference of opinion.
I think it's going to tank. I 100% think it's going to tank.
Okay. Why?
Yep. Because I think it's going to flood the market. There's too many people in there trying to flip things. And I just think that there's like, just every category is just getting like so flooded. And another thing is like, I feel like they just don't monitor the people, like the users enough. Like I've had probably 3 negative experiences so far with people not shipping things to me on time. I feel like they just don't monitor the shipping enough. Okay. The customer service is decent. And I like at first I was like, this is so great. This is like the new wave of the future. Like I hope that, other auction sites start doing like live auctions too. We do high bid a lot. Like it'd be so cool to have like high bid auctioneers like live to buy things to flip. But honestly, I just think there's a lot of problems with it. I like doing the shows and I don't want to talk negatively about it, but I do. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very good opinion. I want to say hey to Kayla, homeschooling picker. Thanks for coming out and joining us tonight. And Paul says this definitely wasn't his video. Okay. Okay. All right. So it was a different Philly. Right?
Different. There's a couple Phillies out there.
There's a couple of Phillies out there.
Yeah.
Bartermania. How are you, man? I think that's a new name for us. Thanks for coming out, Barter. I appreciate you so much. All right, Adam, what is your opinion on WhatNot? You said it was different from Tara's. So.
It is. Yeah. No, it is. It's the polar opposite. I think it's a peek into the future. Do I think it's WhatNot that strives to make this the reselling of the future? I don't know the answer to that question. Okay. Like what she said, there's significant issues with WhatNot and what they're doing. But I feel like the core of it, where you're selling things live, using a video, using things like that, is for sure the future. Now, is WhatNot going to corner the market? Yes, they are. I think they will get big before they get small, because the categories they sell in are huge. Like the Funko Pop category is huge, sneaker category huge, vintage clothing huge. Like they're all so flooded with stuff and people right now that there's tons of stuff going through the company right now. And like she said, there are some issues with, as far as like the people that are on there and what they're doing. But as far as like, will they be a contender? Absolutely. They're already taking eBay's business, and they're taking business away from YouTube, because people that were on YouTube that are doing these live auctions
that is true.
are moving over to WhatNot and seeing 12 million times the profit. I don't know, maybe not quite that high, maybe 12 times the profit.
I see where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, but it's leaps and bounds. Like, I have actually seen, and I won't call him out on here, but I have seen a guy that I know that does regular auctions on YouTube and sells things, and then he moved over to WhatNot, and his profits jumped.
Okay,
like, because he's a video game guy, and he started selling video games, and that's one of their categories that's just humongous.
Yeah.
And like Funko Pops, Sarah didn't even look at Funko Pops until she started buying them on WhatNot, and now we have literally hundreds of Funko Pops in our basement.
Well, like 100.
100 and 100,000, right?
It's going to get that way, soon.
Yeah. So I just want to point out, If It Flips It Ships corrected himself and said it was actually Cincinnati Picker. Or Cincinnati Flipper? I don't know Cincinnati.
Cincinnati Flipper. Yeah.
I'm thinking it was Cincinnati Picker, which is pretty darn cool. Anyway, that you came over here, man. Appreciate that.
Sorry.
Ken says, please do have a show on Mercari, trying to learn other platforms, maybe a pros and cons versus Mercari versus Facebook Marketplace. I am definitely going to bring the topic of Mercari to one of these resellers ranting and raving, because I think we have just as much ranting as we do raving as far as Mercari is concerned. So it's cornering the market. It's quick auctions. It's it starts at 30 seconds. You set the time limit. You as the auctioneer set the time limit. You set the starting bid. But it basically, guys, if you don't know this, every time a bid is made, it adds time to the clock.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean it just ends at the last second. Somebody can snap it from you.
Well, you can do that though. You can set it to be a sudden death, and it will end.
Yes.
Ooh, I didn't realize. I haven't witnessed that before.
So there's trouble with those, and we haven't tried one yet because we haven't had anything. We do vintage shirts, like you saw, in modern shirts, and we haven't had anything that we knew would go for crazy money that we could do it with, because you don't want to do it for like a t-shirt, because then somebody will bid $1 at the last second and get it for $1.
Right.
But the sudden death ones are interesting because they like, what happens is everybody waits and waits and waits and waits. So it's like you've got like an item that's like $100 item, and it's sitting there at like $6, and it's ticking down. And then what happens is, as soon as that 1 second marker comes on, everybody hits the bid button at the same time. So you have no idea what you just bid.
That is a computer. Okay, my history with computers knows that is just asking for disaster. Accepting all of that input at one time.
Yes.
That's just. Well, sorry, I cut you off, Adam. Is that basically what you're seeing is happening?
Yeah. And Sarah's done it a couple times where you hit the button just as many times as you can. And then you probably outbid yourself 3 or 4 times in there. Because if like she was the only one that hit the button, she just outbid herself 4 times.
Right. Yeah. And the price sometimes, like he was saying, an item will be at $6 and then it gets down to 1 second and everyone bids. It could go from $6 to $200. And you might be bidding $200 and you might not know.
Yeah.
That happened to me. I saw like my bid come in and it was like $60 some, and I was like, oh my God.
I didn't do that. You need to back off on the clicker there. Philly Flipper says Sarah is definitely right about not vetting the sellers.
Yeah.
The fact they let me on was proof of that.
I think there's some seriousness in his first part of his comment, though, because if you scroll through some of those late night auctions,
there's so much swearing, there's so much drinking, there's so much music with swearing, vulgar.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
Well, I haven't come across that, but I've only really clicked on people that I know. too.
Right.
Yeah.
So, hey, new name for me, Shawn Bloor. Is
Another.
WhatNot your second most revenue after eBay? That's to you guys.
I think it is.
And now it is, yeah.
Yeah. I think it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly how long have you guys been on the WhatNot app doing your auctions?
I think like 5 weeks.
5
Mhm.
weeks? Okay.
Yeah.
And you do it how often?
Once.
Yeah, once. We were doing it twice, but now we're just doing it once.
Once a week.
It's a lot. Like,
I believe it.
it's a lot.
So tell us real quick. Tell us about that scheduling process, that setup process. Let's say you're scheduling next Tuesdays, right? You do what, 7:30 on Tuesdays? Is that right?
Mhm.
You impressed that I remembered that?
Nice. Smooth.
What are you going through to plan for your next week's WhatNot auction right now?
Go
ahead.
Me?
Yeah,
because I do all the planning. Yeah. So basically, you just go in. It's very easy to schedule. You just go in, you pick the date, you pick the time, and then you hit schedule show. And then it comes up basically that your show is scheduled, and it comes up with like a black blank screen with the WhatNot little logo all over it. And you can add a video, like a preview of the things that you're going to auction off. And we usually do that. And I usually do that like a couple days in advance. But it is a lot to set up. So if you take a video of everything that we're selling, and you have to add in, some people don't do it, but I do it because it's easier. You have to add in a description for each thing that you're auctioning off.
Right. That makes sense.
Now, some people don't do that. And they just put like t-shirt number 1, t-shirt number 2, t-shirt number 3. And they have their own system of how they're keeping track of who gets what t-shirt when they bid, which I think is disastrous because I've gotten things from sellers before that I don't think I even bought, to be honest with you. But I always put in the description, like we've been doing t-shirts. So I'll put like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle t-shirt size large, Ghostbusters t-shirt size medium. So I'll add in all the descriptions of the t-shirts and the sizes because people have been really wanting certain sizes. So they can go in ahead of time and see if there's anything they want or they're interested in. And another nice thing is if they want like a certain shirt, they can click a little alarm button next to it that will tell them when that shirt comes live.
Okay,
so
that makes sense.
They don't
a notification.
Yeah, they don't care about like any of the shirts except for maybe like the Ghostbusters. Then they can hit an alarm, and when that pops up, they'll get a push notification on their device that says, we're auctioning off this shirt.
Right.
So it's good so they, know everything in advance that we have in case they just want something specific. But then, I'll take like a video and then Adam will upload it and add the music. But yeah, that's it.
What about the planning of the items you're actually going to auction?
Okay.
Like
so
gathering that and stuff like that.
So I have kind of like a backlog of t-shirts. I've been like everyone that knows that watches us, I don't do death piles. So the only death pile I have is like ephemera because it doesn't take up a lot of space and I can use it and list it when I don't have other methods of sourcing, or like today, if I don't want to go out because it's freezing, I can work on that kind of stuff. So as far as t-shirts go, I have kind of like a backlog of t-shirts now. So I have pretty much like 1 week in advance at all times.
I got you. Okay.
So I have like.
So you just grab 50 more shirts off your pile.
Basically, yeah. So it's yeah. So I don't have probably any more than 1 week in advance. So like I'll have enough for this Tuesday, but I won't have enough probably for next week. So I'll go to the bins like once or twice a week in thrift stores and try to get those shirts. And most of our shirts do come from the bins because they cost like around 54 cents a piece.
That was my next question. What's your average buy cost for your shirt?
Yeah, about 50
cents a piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's WhatNot has changed how we source too, because whereas before we were picking out 3 or 4 items per thrift store, or we were going to an auction and we were buying we were buying chunks of things, but we were donating things that we didn't really need or whatever. Now our focus is more on, we're doing all that, plus if we can get bulk stuff,
right,
we're taking it, because
that makes sense.
It's easier for us to sell that kind of stuff on WhatNot. And we've also started getting into like the vintage t-shirt stuff. Like we've started looking for single stitches at local thrift stores a lot more. And we've when we were on vacation, we found a Garth Brooks single stitch band tee from like 1995 or something. And
I think it was like 94. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Did you sell that on Whatnot?
It's on eBay now.
It's on eBay right now.
We're gonna give it a chance on eBay first.
Like we
definitely
do t-shirts on eBay too. And if I have t-shirts that have been sitting on eBay for months, then I'll pull them off of eBay and put them on Whatnot too.
Makes sense.
So
Ken's got a question here. Whatnot seems to be resellers selling to resellers. I feel the platform will grow once the general public is more involved. How do you feel? What do you think about that statement, Adam? Would you agree? Resellers selling to resellers?
I mean, it depends on who you follow. If you follow a bunch of YouTubers, then yeah, you're seeing a lot of that. But if you're following people that like maybe, because like we have a few people that we watch or that Sarah watches pretty religiously that are just people that, you know, had an Instagram following and, you know, sold on eBay and that was it. And they were dedicated themselves to certain things. Like there's people that have, you know, thousands upon thousands of t-shirts that sell on there regularly. And they don't have a YouTube following, and the general public is definitely involved in those. The people that sell Funko Pops, those people are just they have toy stores, you know, and stuff like that. And so there is a lot of it. The collectors are starting to figure it out because I think us as YouTubers, sometimes we let the cat out of the bag on things whenever, you know, like our sources become exposed to the general public, and then now you've got collectors. So like the video games, we were getting at decent prices on Whatnot as resellers.
Yes, so now, you could resell them. You were sourcing them to resell them.
Right. Now forget it, because you've got once the collectors, if you get like Dave NC Picker had a G.I. Joe auction, and he had 2 or 3 guys that were diehard G.I. Joe collectors in there, and they drove the price up above eBay comps. And like I was there and I was watching and I was like, good for him, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But, you know, from a reseller standpoint, you kind of gotta, I'm out. Yeah. There's no way I'm buying something because I like Dave and I want to support Dave. But other than that, I have whatever I just bought, I know I'm breaking even on because I'm not making any money on it because I got bid up by a collector. So it's happening. And that's where me and Sarah disagree, is that once those collectors get into the market, it's anybody's guess where it can go.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that somewhat.
So it sounds to me, to Sarah's point, it's got some growing to do. It's got some maturing to do.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say is one of its biggest pitfalls right now?
Go ahead.
I'm just the amount of people in there that are not professional. I mean, I understand, like, we're doing auctions and our cats are running across the table. I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, it's not like we have this like studio set up, you know, we're working out of our house. We have animals, you know, but I'm not like swearing and drinking. And like, we ship everything within 24 hours. Like, and you can't, and eBay, you can contact the seller directly. I had a real problem with somebody that didn't ship my shirts, and they just flat out were dishonest to me, gave me a fake tracking number. And you know, I got my money back in the end, but I couldn't contact them directly.
You have to go through Whatnot's customer service?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And when I was in another one of their auctions, I asked them in the auction, they're like, I don't answer questions about shipping in auctions. Contact me on Instagram. And that's where they gave me the fake tracking number.
Oh, okay.
There was a reason behind this one, though. This guy thought he was a lot bigger than he was. And he ran a 1976 Led Zeppelin band tee. And it sold for $6.
Like a legit real one. Yeah.
And he did not. And the moment it happened, Sarah was like, oh my God, I can't believe I got this. It's like a $150 shirt. And I'm like, he's not going to ship it out. I'm like, there's no way he's going to ship. I knew it.
You knew it.
The moment because he got so upset at that point in the middle of his auction, he actually laid on the floor and he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. And and I'm like, there's no way you're going to see that shirt. And it's great that she got her money back, but the reality behind the situation is if he would have been honest and shipped that shirt, we would have made a ton off of it. Yeah. And that's what irritates me, is that we were that close, and all he had to do was just say, yeah, I'm not doing it, and throw it, you know. So that is
alive, man.
Yeah. That is one of their biggest hangups, is that they have to find a way to hold buyers accountable for what they do.
Buyers
Because-
or sellers?
Sellers. I'm sorry, sellers. The buyers have very
Got
little.
messed up on
No,
that
I'm
one.
sorry about that. The sellers.
Sarah's going to jump through the TV. I was going to say she'd jump through the laptop at you, but really she's just come around
Just
the corner
walk down the
behind you.
hallway.
You better pay attention to that video camera because you'll be able to see her come up behind you like,
Yeah.
Adam, Shawn wants to know, can we get that TMNT shirt that you're wearing in the next WhatNot auction?
No. Sarah,
Not
this is a
at
Christmas
all.
gift from Sarah. It doesn't. It says normal, healthy adult turtle.
Normal.
And it has
hustle.
actual really
Yeah,
turtles.
like sea turtles. On
It's
it.
still a really cool shirt.
Instead
is.
of mutant
Throwing everybody
teenage, it's normal adult.
Yeah.
And Rosie says, Sarah, your lighting is 10 for 10 tonight.
I don't
we were
know
talking about
how.
that before the show.
What's happened?
I've figured
She's
it
got a
out.
glow. She's got
I
this
know.
glow going on. She looks great, doesn't she?
I have figured it out. Actually, I know.
What?
I know what you did differently. I'll tell you later.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Unless Adam wants to know, then I can tell you.
Well, I didn't know. If you don't want the whole world to know, because we're
Oh, I
live.
don't care.
I hate it.
You're actually using the webcam, the webcam instead of the internal webcam.
Yeah, it's got a
No,
better.
I'm not. Because look, this is the webcam.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're covering it up.
No, but that's the external webcam.
Yeah. Right.
That's what this, yeah,
You've
this-
been using the internal one.
I haven't.
Hmm. Yeah.
How did I not know?
I don't know.
Sarah just mind blown right there. Andy says, "Can you give feedback or grade WhatNot sellers in order to warn other buyers?"
Yes.
Okay,
There
tell
is
us
a-
about the feedback system.
So that it's just like, well, it's similar to, it's not similar to any of them. It gives you the option to get, well, so whereas like Poshmark, you get 5 stars, right? And then you can give them like, what could they improve on or what was so good, whatever. This one says like it has shipping or, like quality of product 1 through 5 stars, shipping time 1 through 5 stars, and then it just kind of lists 3 more, and you just hit 5 star all the way down. But there is no, like, if Angie's saying like a Facebook feed or an eBay feedback system where you can actually say what happened, no. But according to
But it's just
WhatNot,
a star rating is about it, right?
Yeah.
according to WhatNot, that they are giving out strikes to people that are being very vulgar or doing things on camera they shouldn't be.
Right.
And 2, people that are being dishonest with their products. So they're trying to get a handle on it. If I had to take a guess, what's going on is that this little startup tech company thought of a really, really good idea, and they got struck by lightning really fast, and now they're growing at a very large rate, and they don't have the ability to handle the volume that's coming in. So like
Right.
the backlog for people that are applying is tremendous right now. And then the backlog for, or not the backlog, but the customers that are coming in is also tremendous. Like, so you've kind of got this, this company's being pulled in 2 different directions right now, and they don't really have the ability to handle what they're handling. And it's evident by how they're dealing with their onboarding procedures is so slow right now to get anywhere with them that you're just waiting months and months and months. It seems like they're trying to figure it out like kind of on the fly, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I wondered, why is there a reseller or a seller application process?
Well,
Why not just weed them out through feedback?
I agree.
Or video or caught on live vulgarity, or restrict their account when they break the policies.
Right.
Why do you think there's an actual application process to be a seller?
so my guess is that they probably, because when we first started selling on WhatNot, this was a lot bigger of a problem than it is now. Because when we first started selling on WhatNot, we were looking through things, and like there were people that were just downright nasty and downright mean and downright
They still
vulgar.
are.
But I think it's less now than it was before.
Maybe. Well,
And
I watch a lot more than you, so.
Yeah. But I think what was going on before, they're trying to weed that out, and I think the only way they can vet people is to go through this kind of application process and hope that they guess correctly. You know what I mean? Like with me and you and Sarah, it's easy because you can see our personalities live on YouTube or, wherever, Instagram or wherever.
Right.
But whereas somebody that maybe just has a toy store in Southern California that, has an Instagram account, you might not be able to really gauge who they are and what they're doing. So
Okay.
I think that's what they're doing. I think they're trying to figure out a good process to kind of vet people.
Is it a good problem to have, though, a backlog of sellers who want to be on your platform?
It could be.
I would think that'd be a good problem. I think it needs to be a healthy balance, and they haven't figured out how to balance it, because if it becomes too much of a problem, then then those people are going to be, well, they never got back to me. Boom.
Right.
Whatever. Bump it. Or you look at it on the other side of the coin, such as they as a business have a backlog. So what that you drop out? They've got 100 more right behind you that want to do it. So.
Yeah. But like Sarah says all the time, she's in these auctions all the time, and she sees people and she's like, God, these people are terrible. You know, like, and she's like, and we know people personally that have been begging to get on there, and we know that they'd be professional, and we're like, why can't they get rid of crap like this and bring in the people that we know are going to be decent professional sellers on there?
Gotta grow. They gotta grow. They're just not growing fast enough. Rosie says, do you think do you think they are going to stop people playing music with their growth, like because of copyright or something like that?
I was wondering that too. I don't know.
Do they promote? So that kind of leads to something I wanted to know, because I noticed several people do play music in their background, and they maybe even call out the song that's playing in the background or make mention of it, and don't just leave it as an undertone. Do they guide you, coach you in a certain way?
Yes.
Can you
I
tell
don't
us
think
about
I ever
that?
told Sarah. I don't. So there's when you
I
get
wondered about that.
when you get accepted, there's like a Zoom call. It's kind of like this, but everybody's mic's muted, and there's like a PowerPoint presentation on how to do everything. Okay. And they encourage you to play music.
Okay.
They encourage you to play music. They encourage you to put music to your preview video.
Oh, okay.
So do I know that someone's not going to come after them sooner or later? I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll be facilitated by big companies like eBay and, companies that don't want them in the market anymore. But at the moment, that's what they're telling. Well, that's what they told me. I see. And we got in early enough that we kind of bypassed all this stuff. Like from the time I sent my application to the time I got accepted, it was 4 weeks. Okay. Everybody else is on like month 4.
Okay.
And when I did it, I filled out the application. They asked for links to all my socials, links to my YouTube, eBay, everything. And then they were like, hey, give us like a 2-minute elevator pitch, which I filmed here with my camera. And I'm like, this is the kind of stuff we sell. This is the person I am, and this is what we do. And here's all our inventory. And then they asked for pictures of all our inventory. So Sarah went downstairs and literally just took pictures of all the shelves we have. We sent them pictures of this shelf behind me, and we were like, this is what we do. And a week went by, and they were like, congratulations. Come to one of these Zoom calls, either this day or this day.
And in the Zoom call is where they kind of talked about the music. So that was, was there anything else that they coached you about, like the flow, how to handle stuff, anything else they coached you through?
Well, they coach you on how to use the app, obviously, and how to, and then what their best, like, they showed like a graph of like where everybody's doing their auctions, and they're like, everybody's on Thursday, Friday, Saturday right now. So maybe you might want to consider Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, which is actually why we settled on Tuesday, because we didn't really want to step on other people's toes, number one, and number two, we didn't want to be in with 35 other vintage clothing sales. So that's.
Do you think it's to your advantage though to try to kind of push in their territory of time? Because if you've got millions of people watching on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but only a couple hundred watching on Monday, Tuesdays, it seems like your customer base would be much broader.
It's funny you bring that up, because we just talked about that, because there's a
What's your thoughts?
There's a very popular shirt auction guy that was on at the same time we were on Tuesday, and Tuesday was one of our best shirt auctions.
Yeah.
This past Tuesday?
It was our best shirt auction. Yeah.
And that makes sense. I mean, it's not that you're infringing on his time. You set a time, you stuck with it. His time, I don't know who came first, chicken, egg, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But in somehow, shape, or form, his auction and his customers found your auction.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And migrated over to yours, probably because the app was smart enough to push them that way. Maybe his ended and yours was still going on. I don't know. I'm guessing, but worked to your advantage, didn't it?
Yeah, and people go in and out of different rooms constantly. I mean, I know I do. If there's two people on that I really like watching, I'm going back and forth, or I'm watching one on my phone and one on my iPad.
I hear you.
At the same time.
Angie says, so in Craig's mom's situation with a t-shirt, that seller would get a strike, but there is no way to warn other buyers.
Yeah, not really.
Not really.
Okay. Rosie says, SSK, same. I know as TikTok has grown, they get copyright holders involved with music to play on them. Okay, here's my thoughts, although I've just got my thoughts on this. As far as I know, you can't replay a WhatNot auction. Is that correct?
No.
I don't think so, no.
So as far as copyright's concerned, you can't, it's not a recorded, replayable video like Instagram Reels, TikTok is, YouTube is, right? I can see where there could be copyright infringement in a replayable, recordable situation, but from you guys' situation, it's not replayable. You can't record it in any way. It's not replayable. So that's what I think. So that might have them safe, right?
And I also think, just like YouTube, if you've made YouTube videos in thrift stores before, if there's a song playing in the background and you're talking over it the entire time the song's playing,
yes,
it's very seldom a copyright strike. The only time you get that strike is if you let it play and you're silent, or there's no other noise involved, where it seems like you're using the music to go along with what you're doing. But if you're talking over it the whole time, and which I mean, I can't stand dead air. Like it's one of my biggest fears. Like when I edit videos, I'm editing all the dead air out of my videos because I just can't stand it. And so like the music helps me because I don't feel like I have to say something every 5 minutes. And it also slows our auction down a little bit. Whereas I'm not rushing to say my next thing and talk about the next shirt. I'm just going along with what's going. And if I have to make a comment, I'll make a comment about the music, or I'll do my stupid radio voice that, all the DJs do, that Sarah rolls her eyes at when I do all the time.
Have you done, this is kind of an off WhatNot situation, not really related to WhatNot, but I'm just curious. Have you ever done any study on the speed of the music that you play and the effect it has on your watchers or viewers, and how it may react in pushing that button or clicking that button?
No.
Something to think about.
But I did skip over, what was the song? It's by Motley Crue.
I don't know.
Anyways, a Motley Crue song came on, and I'm like, this is just a bit aggressive for a shirt. Like, I feel like we should be throwing shirts up really. And I'm like, no, I think we need to tone it down a little bit.
There you go. Yeah. Not too fast, but fast, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Paul says the Zoom call was weird. There was like 100 people on mine.
Wow.
How many were on yours, Adam?
Probably about that. Yeah.
About 100 people. Jeez.
That's a lot.
Luckily, they have everybody muted. And they do take questions afterwards, so you can like virtually raise your hand on the Zoom call.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's really awkward because like Paul said, it's weird. And I think the only reason it's weird is the vast majority of people in that Zoom call were on their phone, number one. And number two, they didn't turn their camera off. Like I turned my camera off. I'm like, and so everybody's picture kind of looked
up their nose and whatnot.
Yeah, the whole time. And I'm like, dude, turn your camera off. Like nobody's paying attention to the screen on the right. But so then they took questions, but it was almost like they took questions because they felt like they had to. Because after a while they were like, all right, no more questions. Good luck, guys. And then left.
Wow.
Good luck.
Was, and it was weird. And I'm just like, okay. And Sarah's like, so how do you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea what we're doing. I'm like, I'm going to watch this. They gave us a link to watch this video that shows you how to set everything up. I'm like, I'm going to watch it again. I'm like, why don't you watch it? And we'll figure this out. So we both watched it. And like going into our first auction, both of us were like, what do we do?
Don't know yet.
Hit this button. And so what you're kind of learning as you go. And then once you get it, it's simple. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of nuances to it. So like, you kind of got it. Like Joey did it. Joey Bada Bing had his first auction today, and he did the exact same thing I did. If you scroll on the chat, like as the seller, like if I scroll up to see, your comment or whatever, and I just leave it there and I walk away, that chat will stop moving altogether. So it'll stay on that section that I scrolled on and never move again. Even though everybody is talking down below.
You don't see any of it.
You don't see any of it. So all you have to do is scroll all the way to the bottom and you'll see everything. But and they don't tell you things like that. And so you're like,
Yeah, you just need to like figure it out by yourself, because it will stop, like you said, but there's a little arrow that tells you it keeps going. But how would you know that if nobody tells you? You just have to figure it out yourself.
And you're so wound up and nervous by that point, because you're live, and like being live on YouTube's fine because I could talk for hours, but I'm not selling anything. This isn't, whereas on this, you're like, I need to be as entertaining as I can be, but not waste people's time.
Also moving product.
And move product all at the same time. So you're like, this is where it gets difficult because I want to be my usual self and be a goofball. But in the same respect, like I can't sit and talk about my YouTube channel or talk about where we got this shirt for 20 minutes and then auction it.
Yeah. I get you.
So.
I want to get to our game, but I've still got a lot of questions, guys. I'm curious. Let's say hey to Ed, the reselling writer. Hey. Thanks for stopping by. We got a show at 9, right, Adam? Yeah. Is it on your channel?
It's on my channel with me and Ed and Jimmy, Dark County Picker.
Okay. Grab that link because I will, if you send it in the private chat, I'll copy and paste it into this chat so that at the end of the show, we'll push everybody over to your show. Secondly, I wanted to say that I am curious how it's all on the cell phone, right? Right now, at this point in time, it's all on the cell phone.
Or like an iPad or like a
What
tablet.
does your setup look like? Like, I can't see the behind the camera.
So what we have is we have like a clamp that clamps onto the table and holds the iPad. And then we have like a stand, and then we have the rack for the clothing, and I have all the shirts piled up over on the side. And Adam just controls everything from his iPad.
Okay, so Adam, you're sitting behind the iPad. iPad is clamped to the table for stability.
Well, it's not really stable. So it was...
No, that's the goal, though, right?
So okay, this somewhat of a funny story. So we were over at my friend's house one day, and this will tie back in, I promise. So we were over at my friend's house, and his wife sits like they have a love seat and a couch. Anyways, she had this iPad holder, and it was like on a flexi kind of, you could move it any direction. It just clamped onto the table, and I'm like, I need one of these so I can, like watch BaldyPal's live while the television's on or whatever. So I got one, and I used it like that for a while. And then when this happened, I'm like, we need this for this. So like if I were to tap that iPad like that, it would go so it's not stable.
Pretty good though.
So it's kind of it holds it because the purpose is you don't want this thing to be shaken everywhere, right? But that's not the only way to do it, I assume, because I've seen people who are standing in front of their camera.
Yes.
But am I right to say that it's all on an app right now? Yes. Like there's no computer version to this at this moment, right?
You can watch things on the computer, and I think that you have to sell NFTs using a computer.
I noticed that the computer cuts off. It chops tops and bottoms.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never used it. But you can't use a webcam, which is just a total fail on their they need to figure that out, because it would be so easy to set the webcam up and just sit there behind the computer the whole time.
Yeah. They need to get that fixed. And then, the users can be on either, I guess. You got to open up your but you've got the mobile app set up, so no matter where they are, they can participate.
But you can remotely control the device. So that's what a lot of these people are doing is they have their like iPad or their other device sitting there, and then you can remotely control the whole auction from another device if you wanted to.
I got you. Oh, okay.
And we tried to do that, and it worked for a minute, and then it went black one time, and we're just like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
But I have seen people do it where they're standing in front of their camera. And then they're just like, all right, we're going to run it. And they hit the run button, and they're still standing in front of the camera. So it does work. We just,
it might have just been a glitch that one night too, but we just haven't tried it before because we just don't want to lose people by like the screen blacking out. And then people
mobile apps and Wi-Fi are finicky. So.
Absolutely.
Shawn says Adam usually asks for requests on his WhatNot, which I like because it makes a friendly atmosphere, and Adam and Sarah really go out of their way for their customers, in my opinion. Look at that feedback. See,
Thank you.
If there was a way to copy and paste that into your star rating on Whatnot, that would be a perfect feedback.
Shawn's one of our best. He's a viewer. He's an eBay customer and a Whatnot customer.
Look at there. Look at the support, Shawn. That's awesome, dude. Philly Flipper says, Adam, that's the same reaction I had after the Zoom call. Learned way more from Carrie and Dave than the Zoom call itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carrie and Dave. Dave NC Picker.
And Carrie American Arbitrage. Yeah.
Carrie and American Arbitrage. Okay.
They were who pushed us into it because they were pretty active on our lives, and they're like, you got to sign up, and both of us were like, we don't need another thing to do, like, why do we want to do this? And then Dave was like, you got to do it, and we're like, all right, we're doing it. And thank God they did, because if we would have waited another month and then signed up, we would have been in this mess with the rush. And I'm like, wow, thank you, Dave.
Well, let's jump to the game that I've got set up for you guys. And then after the game, I want to ask you questions about your products, how you go about getting them. I want to talk about your I don't want to say backlog, but basically I want you to teach me, coach me, what do I need to do if I wanted to be a Whatnot seller? What would I need to do to prepare as far as the items I want to sell on Whatnot, right? Okay, so let's jump to the game first. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a really cool intro video. My apologies, everyone. But the name of the game is Whatnot, Waste Not. Isn't that just an awesome name for this game? Whatnot, Waste Not. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger for the show. There we go.
I'm going to put on my side monitor too, because I have a side monitor. So
all right. Whatnot, Waste Not. Okay, so I already went over the rules with Adam and Sarah before the show began. They have some paper and a Sharpie, and they're going to basically use that to bid on some items in this game. Now, here's the rules. One, I'm going over these rules because this is kind of sticklers. It's a pretty difficult game in my opinion. So all items are sold, buy it now, pre-owned comps from eBay, okay? So everything you see in this game, they've already been sold. These are the prices that they sold for. Players must pick one T-shirt from each round. You're going to get 2 to choose from. Players must pick one T-shirt, write down their pick, and an auction bid. But do not reveal that until I ask them to do so. Players' profit is earned by taking the difference from the sell price and their bid. So if they bid 5 and it sold for 10, they get a $5 amount that they get to bank. Assuming both players pick different T-shirts from every round, both players get to add the difference to their profit, their bank. But, and here's where it gets good, guys. But if both players pick the same T-shirt, the highest bidder wins the shirt, and the difference of from the profit and the bid gets added to their bank. But the other shirt goes to the second player, and they get it at their original bid price, and then that difference gets added to their bank. So if you choose the same shirt, guys, but you both somehow consequently choose the lower of the two, whoever bid the most gets that one, but whoever bid the lowest gets the other one. You follow me?
Got it.
All right. Highest total at the end of the game in their bank is declared the winner. Okay. These rules are as confusing as Whatnot.
$1,000 for the winner, right? Is that what we agreed on?
That's what we agreed on. All right. So there are 4 rounds to the game, exactly as you see it in the rules here, and then the 5th bonus round, which could make or break the whole thing. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to show you on the very first slide, it's going to be 2 different shirts. We're going to ease into this. It's going to be an easy one, guys. We're going to ease into this. You two, you pick which one you want to bid on and your bid price. Remember, bid low in order to sell high, right? So here's the first choice. Round 1. You have a Captain America, Marvel Comics Red Captain America 101. When Wakes the Sleeper is written on the bottom of the shirt, size 2XL. And you have a men's Marvel large graphic tee, black, group shot, Hulk, Spider-Man, size large. Now, these are the exact descriptions from the listing. So, again, what you want to do is you want to pick your shirt, and what do you want to bid on the shirt? All right. Adam, are you ready? Sarah,
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I just got
Okay.
Sharpie all over my hand.
Did you just? You're supposed to write on the paper, Sarah. Write on the paper. All right. So I've got a little spreadsheet over here ready to write down what you bid on.
Spreadsheet.
So
professional.
go ahead and show. What did you?
Me
go ahead
first?
and reveal both of them at the same time.
I
Both
got-
of you reveal.
Captain America red.
Oh,
Okay.
1001.
Both of you went for the Captain America, and Sarah bid the most money at 1001. And
So I'm
Adam,
gonna
you bid.
lose.
What was your bid again?
$5.
$5. Okay. So the Captain America is for you, Sarah, and the Marvel is for Adam. So yours, Sarah, went for $12.90. All right.
Okay.
And then Adam, yours went for $10.75. So right now, it looks like Adam, you're in the lead. I'm going to guess $5. Sarah, yours is around the $2 mark, maybe $3 mark.
That's right.
All right. So that's how the game goes. You
All
like
right.
it so far?
Going down.
All right. It's just going
Well,
to get.
then
It's
why
going to
don't
get.
I just bid a penny on everything and then I'll always win?
Not necessarily. You may bid a penny on the worst shirt.
That's right.
That's true.
Okay. Here's round two. Round two. You got a Braves, MLB, Atlanta Braves t-shirt, ripping logo, men's 3XL. And you have a Nike Atlanta Braves navy blue t-shirt, short sleeve, size XL. All right. So remember, you want to bid low in order to sell high, but you also want to outbid the other person for the best of the two t-shirts. All right. Are you ready, both of you?
I am ready.
Sounds like you're still thinking. I can hear Sharpie do it.
I'm ready.
All right.
All right. You're both ready?
Yup.
Yep.
Hey, Misha. Thanks for joining us. All right. Go ahead and reveal. What did you choose?
I'm going with the ripping logo.
Okay. For $4.25.
$4.25.
And Adam, what did you go for?
Nike,
The Nike one for $5. Okay. So your ripping logo, Sarah, you get this one. There's no outbidding on this one. Sold for $9.99. Okay. And then
Okay.
Adam, your Nike one sold for $15.96. All right. Consistency here. That was a pretty good. That's $5 and yours was $10. I don't know, Sarah. You getting the hang of this game? All right.
I'm
So
losing.
now it's going to get hard. Okay. Here's when it gets difficult. Are you ready for this?
Ready.
Ready.
Round 3. You have a Slipknot pentagram t-shirt, metal band, Bayside, extra large. I don't know these words. Stone Sour, Corey Taylor, Cotton. There must be people in the band. I don't know. Slipknot.
Probably.
And then you're up against an Adele 2016 tour t-shirt. Keywords: lipstick, band tee, made of polyester, made in the USA, huge graphic. So again, you want to pick the one you think sells the highest and outbid the other player.
I'm going with a little strategy here this time.
Okay.
I
Are
think
you
it might
ready?
work. I'm ready.
You ready?
All right.
Okay.
I'm
Both
ready.
of you reveal. All right.
Oh.
Slipknot and Slipknot. Both of you choose Slipknot. And Sarah, you bid how much? 12 something?
$12.75.
$12.75. All right. 12. Wow. My
I'm
computer
definitely
did
going to
not-
win this one, I think.
Computer is, I think, batteries might be dying in my keyboard because my computer doesn't want to type.
Oh, no.
All right. So, Adam, you get the Adele t-shirt for $1
No.
out of default. All right. Slipknot. Let's go with Adele first. All right. Adele shirt sold for $22.99.
Wow.
Do you expect that? Do you expect more or less?
No, I expected Sarah to bid on the Dell t-shirt for like $5 because I thought she'd bite on the Made in USA thing.
No.
Yeah.
All right. And then the Slipknot sold for $29.99. Not that big of a difference.
I think you're still winning, Adam.
Yep. But not
Okay.
by as much as I thought I'd be after you picked the Dell.
All right, so now we're again, like I said, every round gets harder and harder. Here is round number 4. What? Hold on, what's going on in the chat? Philly Flipper says, "Sal, why did you
Oh.
block Ed?
Ed got blocked.
What
again?
happened?
Oh no.
Can we unblock him? I don't know how to unblock somebody from this view. Sorry, Ed. I think I'd have to go to the YouTube channel side and try to figure this out. Ed, the reselling writer, has been hidden by Sal. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can unhide him.
I don't know. Ed
Unhide. Unhide. I think that might have just unhid him. Guys, tell me if I did that right or wrong. I don't know. Okay. Here's the next round. Y'all saw it before I went on. So we got Super Mario Brothers 3 vintage yellow graphic t-shirt size 2XL and a vintage Mario Nintendo Power shirt XL. All right. So you had plenty of time to think about this. Are you both ready?
Ready.
No.
You're not ready.
I'm
what?
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and reveal. Let's see who gets what. Mario Nintendo player.
So glad I took
Mario
for a second.
vintage. Okay, so you picked the yellow one, Adam?
No, I picked the Mario vintage.
Okay, they both say vintage, dude.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want the black one.
Okay, and that's the one you picked too, Sarah, right?
Yeah, he picked higher.
Okay, what was your price, Adam?
17.
Okay, $17 for Adam. And you paid $15.75, Sarah?
Yep. Or $15.25, but whatever.
Okay, well, let's get it right.
I'm still a loser.
All right, so you get this one by default, Sarah. The yellow one goes to you. All right, it is $29.99. You think that's the best one of the two, by chance?
I don't.
No.
I absolutely don't.
Absolutely do not. Okay, so here's this one. The Nintendo Power player is $94.28.
I thought it would be about $100 shirt.
Wow.
So here's something funny. You want to hear how big of dorks are? And I know she saw this too. The one on the left is not vintage.
No, it says vintage.
Yeah,
but it's not vintage.
Yeah, it's got a screen printed tag.
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw too.
I threw that in there on purpose, to be honest with you guys.
It was awesome. Good one.
Because it had the keyword
shirt,
vintage.
though.
And I was like, wait a minute, that ain't vintage. That's got a screen tag.
Yeah.
All right, so the last round is what could make it or break it, guys. So let's see if we can add up a few things here before we go to the last round. All right, we're going to see. I'm going to take your total and subtract how much you bid, and then let's get a total of that. Adam, you are currently at $115.98. All right, $115.98. And then Sarah, you are currently sitting at $40.61. All right, so you're currently $40.61, and
I'm like
Adam,
$50 behind.
$115.98.
You would have taken that round if I wouldn't have sat here for that extra second, because I had the one, and I was like, I'm gonna do 15. I'm gonna do, and I'm like, no, 17.
So you were gonna do another $1?
No, I had the one written down, and I'm like, I was gonna do 15, and I'm like, I should do 15, and I'm like, no, I'll do 17. Well, and she would have taken it by a quarter.
You outbid him, and you took it.
Yep.
All right, here's the last round. The last round has its own little set of rules. Here we go. This shirt is an actual auction. Both players must bid on this shirt. The highest bidder closest to the exact same sold price without going over.
Oh, man.
Gets the difference added to their bank.
Oh.
So you want to be saving enough room that you make a profit, but you need to bid higher than the other player. You follow me?
Yep.
So you got to have enough left over, Sarah, that you could take this.
I won't, but.
All right. Vintage 1996 Shawn Michaels Wrestlemania 12 title belt WWF promo t-shirt size XXL. It is on a WWF tag. It is made in the USA. It has a front and it has a back, and it's dated 1996. Guys, if you need a hint, do you need a hint? Do you think you need a hint? Do you just have no idea whatsoever what this is going to go for?
Oh, no, I have an idea.
I might have an idea.
All right, then no hints, right?
No hints.
No hints. Are you ready to reveal? If
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
in the chat, if you've got a price in the chat, that you can't change your answers, guys. If you see any
I
scribbles
won't.
scrabbling going on, you're disqualified.
I'm holding
got-
my
you got
papers being
a
held up.
guess
So
in the chat. Go ahead and put your guess in the chat. All right, guys. Go ahead and reveal. What is your price? What do you think it goes for? Sarah, $88. Adam, what'd you bid? $229.
Oh, I think Adam went over.
I don't know. That could be a little bit too much. Because there is a without going over.
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Going for it all.
All right. The actual sold price of this t-shirt is $450. $450. I don't even think I have to add that up.
No.
You took it, Adam. That was
poo.
yeah.
Yay.
That's like $225 difference added to your $115 price already. Yeah, I thought that would be a little bit tough, but y'all played it right. Adam, you're right. You took this one. You swept this one completely.
I saw one of those go, not that shirt, but like a wrestling shirt similar to it with the like the all over big print front and back. And I saw one go for like $550, $600. And I was like, this is going to be well over, but I didn't know the guy. So I'm like, cause I don't know wrestling very well. So I'm like,
okay.
I'm saying like 250 is my guess on what I think it went for, but 400, man.
Yeah,
I need to find some of those.
$450. I know some people would pay those high prices for t-shirts, believe it or not.
I have a wrestling shirt over here that I can't figure out. I don't know if it's like a $25 shirt or a $200 shirt. It's still hanging over here because I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that did a lot for your WhatNot show to prove how much you know shirts, guys.
We do.
Adam is officially a t-shirt nerd now. according to Shawn.
The funny thing is that Sarah gets me all the time though, because like Sarah will find things to auction and I'll just be like, why are we doing this? And like last night was a great example. Like she threw up this single stitch Screen Stars. What town was it from?
The Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Yeah. Upper Peninsula, Michigan. It had 4 ducks on it and that was it. Like
Yeah.
something you totally would see your mom or your grandfather, whatever, wearing. And it went for like $15 or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you did not see that one coming, did you?
And I remember when we got it, we went to John's Cincinnati Picker sale over the weekend or last weekend, and she walked right over to it. And she's like, "This duck shirt's awesome. It's going to be great." And I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah, he doesn't. Some things he doesn't know.
Good
He knows
job.
some
Good job,
things,
Sarah.
but some things he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Well-
Sarah's good. She's real good at it. But
Hot Flip Heidi's here. Thanks for joining in the chat. Misha snuck in here too. Misha said, dude, people love that guy. Not totally shocked that it went for $450.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
enough about wrestling, unfortunately.
Heidi dropped a question on a comment in Facebook that I want to pose to you guys right now. Her question was around vintage pants.
Mhm.
Do you believe that vintage pants, or I don't know, maybe we could go more generic, vintage clothing. I mean, a t-shirt, that's kind of a very wide category, but she posted a picture of some vintage pants that looked like they were made by a quilt. Like it was all patchwork and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so her question was, would these sell good on WhatNot? And I'm like, I don't know. Let's ask Adam and Sarah and see what they think. So do you think vintage pants would be a good category to try to resell on WhatNot? Is there a market out there for vintage pants?
I would say there definitely is a market for vintage pants. I've seen people that I know doing t-shirt auctions throw up pants now
Okay.
mixed in with the t-shirts.
Okay. So mixed in WhatNot. Okay. So more of
Yeah.
a go general. Don't do just vintage pants. Do vintage clothing.
Yeah, because there's such a size disparity with like pants. I feel like, somebody that's a medium might want to wear a t-shirt that's a medium one day, but they might also want to do like a baggy look. So with t-shirts, I think you have more of like you're reaching out to like a wider audience, because like as somebody that wears like an extra large shirt, I would wear a 3X if I want to wear it like baggy and style it some way. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But whereas
gotcha.
like a pair of pants, I really don't have a choice. If I wear a
Mhm.
size, 16 pants, I have to get a size 16 pants.
Right.
Yeah. You're just waiting on that perfect size.
Yeah.
And to be more vague with the answer, and this is something we didn't learn right away, but we learned as we have the benefit of being on WhatNot for a while. Well, for a decent amount of time. When we first started, like everybody from YouTube came over and it was super supportive and like we loved it. It was awesome. Like it was great. But that kind of, that tails off, and then you have to go back and build. And that's what we didn't do. Like we did do it, but now we're starting to build. And so I would say to Heidi is that if you can build an audience and you can continue to build that audience selling that stuff, it'll be good. And that's where WhatNot can be huge. Is that if you get enough people like us that want to stick with it, that have the ability to stick with it and maybe take a loss here or there, or, maybe like you saw one of our auctions, we were just $2, $1, $2, $3, $5, and it was just over and over and over again. You have to weather that storm a little bit. And with you being a YouTuber, you don't notice it right away because you've got all these resellers flooding into your first couple auctions.
Right.
So then that kind of fades and you'd get, great people, and a lot of people come still back, but they're not feeding it quite as much. So you kind of build the audience, and that's what we've been doing slowly over the last couple of weeks. Is we've been doing like some toy auctions and seeing if it's hot, and if we find something that we can have a source for, we'll run an auction real quick. Like we ran plushes,
right?
And that went horrible.
Did it? Now?
It was terrible, but we ran them because if it went well, and we got people that we knew were going to come back and start buying them, we have the ability to get them again in bulk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we were kind of poking and prodding and seeing what works and what doesn't. And the t-shirt thing right now is building. Like every week seems to get better and better, and we get new people, and we get, and Sarah washes everything, and everything smells terrific when it gets to people. So that's but that helps because so many people send out like dirty shirts or, stuff like that. So it sets you apart from everybody else, and it does work. So,
I do a lot of laundry every week.
I want to say hey to Rachel Strickland. Hey, resellers listening while I work out tonight. Be careful. Don't let us make you laugh so hard you drop a dumbbell on your toe or something like that. Adam, BaldyPal, I had to be specific there since there's two of us. I always appreciate the effort and the prep that you put into the games. I appreciate that, Ken. I try my best, man.
That was a good game. I would play it again.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Rick Unloaded All says, when someone is wearing a cool t-shirt, no one notices the pants. That's their weird pants.
It's true, but the uniqueness of those quilted pants might help. I mean, I'm sure they'd sell to resellers all day, but I think your ultimate goal is to get snobs because they're going to pay the most money.
Right. And collectors and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shawn asks, besides you guys doing t-shirts on WhatNot, what's your next plan for revenue on the app?
Nothing.
We don't know. Well, no, we're amassing hats because hats do well.
Yeah.
But hats are not something we have access to all the time. So we've kind of got to build and then run a pop-up auction on a Monday or Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
And
let me just put the feeler out there, Adam. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I know we're running short on time. You have a 9 o'clock. So
you can run me up to 5 minutes from 9 and we're fine.
Okay, I want you to finish your thought about hats, and then I've got a closing question that will help me decide what I would want to make on my first WhatNot auction if I were to be approved today. All right, finish your hats.
So we're amassing hats. We're like every time we find vintage hats or something, we're just putting them in a pile downstairs, and then we're going to run a massive hat auction. So that would be our next thing. But you never know. We could go to an auction and there could be pallets of wrestling figures or pallets of Ninja Turtles or whatever, and we'll run them if we get something in bulk. But I don't know if you've experienced this, but I know a lot of people that we've been talking to in our lives are experiencing the same thing. Is that the market is dry right now as far as like going out to thrift stores, going to wherever it is you go to source. Even our auctions are bad right now. Like our auction that literally we could depend on week in and week out to have something there that would make us drive to it. There hasn't been anything like it was, and so that's kind of leading into why why WhatNot's so popular, and two, why we're just kind of doing it this way and amassing things. Well, now the t-shirts we have access to, and we can source fairly regularly. So
okay. Well, my question is, as a new WhatNot auctioneer, seller,
sure.
would you say, Adam, you need to prepare to work at a loss in the beginning? Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
I would disagree. I don't think you'd all out lose.
Okay.
I think you'd come close to even or slightly above. I don't think we've lost yet, have we?
No, we've not lost yet.
Okay. No. And I saw your video for the bins, Sarah, and then immediately that same day we saw, well, I mean, I don't know that I saw the same t-shirts in the auction that night, but you can get them at the bins for what? 50 cents each, sell them for $1 or at least $1, right? Because you start your auctions at $1. So you're working at a profit at that point in time, right?
Yes.
So going to Goodwill, buying a shirt for $1 or $2 is not a good plan. Is that what I'm hearing?
Unless it's a shirt that is a good shirt.
No, I mean like in bulk. You're like, let's go to Goodwill. Let's go search the racks. Let's pick out every Marvel comic book T-shirt we can get for $1.
Yeah. Okay. You have to get. I mean, if you're gonna start the auctions at $1, I mean, it's like you said, you're gonna sell it pretty much for $1. We sell everything every time. We don't not sell.
What are the chances that you could start it at $4 and people would still participate?
Slim.
Yeah, because you want to get that bidding war going. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if someone bids $1, it's most of the time someone's going to bid at least $2.
Yeah.
And then
I shouldn't say slim. I should say that it's off-putting to a lot of people.
It is.
So like if you go into an auction and somebody's selling something that they bought, they bought it for $4 and they're starting it at $4 and they're continuing to do it over and over again, it's off-putting because number one, it doesn't really give you what ends up happening is people are like, I don't know if I want this for $4. Everybody starts comping it and then they go, and then one person will bid on it. So then it sells for $5.
Yeah, I don't see how you have time to comp it in 30 seconds, to be honest with you, or 15 seconds.
Well, with the soft close.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and with the soft close, if it keeps renewing, then you get that extra time.
Have another device near you. Adam.
I was about to say, if you're watching okay. Yeah. So would I do good by spending an hour or two at the Goodwill bins and picking up a bunch of the same category? Why is it the same category? Why is it is it because that's the way the WhatNot people want you to do it?
No. So like if you watch Dave's auction, he mixes stuff in. Carrie mixes stuff in. OBX Picker mixes stuff in. We tried that and we were losing people. Because like everybody we were getting were t-shirt people. And then we would throw in a couple toys and they'd all go away.
Gotcha.
So it works different for different people. Dave has tremendous success with that because what he starts with like toys and then goes into like a video game or goes into like something else. And I've seen him go from toys to ephemera and it work out for him. Yeah. So I think it's all in like your audience and what they're expecting. So, whereas our audience probably found our YouTube channel because we source so many clothes. Mm-hmm. They're clothes resellers. So we're seeing, when we transition over into toys, everyone's like,
but we did do good on that one. Where we did toys and video games. It was like a pop culture one. We just don't have access to that stuff in bulk right now.
Would you recommend a new WhatNot seller to stick with the same category to get off the ground? No? Okay.
No, I would. I think. So what?
Trying to figure out how I need to plan here.
Are you asking for yourself, or are you asking for maybe one of your viewers?
Anybody who's watching. Anybody who's watching.
So for you specifically, as Adam BaldyPal picking on YouTube, no, I would absolutely say throw in whatever you can, but don't take your stuff that hasn't sold on eBay pile and put it on WhatNot, because at first you might get some buyers, but as you continue to do that, people are going to be like, this guy's literally running his junk that he can't sell on eBay. And it's just going to get old. Okay. But you as Adam BaldyPal, I would say mix it up. Do whatever you can in the first couple auctions because you have a following. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's somebody, one of your viewers, let's say that's just a reseller that doesn't have the same following that you do being on social media and such, then I'd say, no, you probably should stick to what you do best because, your clientele isn't buying because they know it's you. They're buying because, hey, this is a new person that's doing some t-shirts. So you as a reseller on YouTube, your first couple auctions will be like ours. They'll be huge. And then then your core clientele will start coming back, and then you'll start getting people that are like, oh, they're selling vintage shirts. I really like these guys, and I bought from them last time, and everything was really great and folded neatly, and you know what I mean. So then you start
really
building,
good advice.
Yeah, and it's just how we learn, because our like third or fourth, was it 3 or 4? I can't remember. One of them really tanked. Like, and it was a t-shirt auction, and it was awful. I mean, we still cleared what we paid for it, but it was just a bad auction.
Okay.
And we had like 14 people in there. It just didn't go well.
Yeah.
And
but we were having like a bad day too, and I don't think we were as like positive as we usually are. And we were just like, we didn't have a lot of faith in the shirts. Like, we were just like, well, these aren't that good, and we were both just not like our normal like upbeat selves. So I think too, like, that can, like, your attitude definitely has something to do with it as
presentation, personality.
And it is stressful, because, like, you know, I have like 2 or 3 hangers ready to go, and then he's like pushing the buttons. I mean, if he was doing it by himself, that'd be like really hard, because he'd have to pull the shirt, he'd have to find it. I mean, I pretty much know where all the shirts are, because I'm washing them, I'm folding them, I'm organizing them, I'm putting all the descriptions in, so I have a general idea. But like, for him to like not knock over the iPad or make it shake, and you know, all that, it just is a lot.
I got you, man.
But yeah, that would be my recommendation. But know that, so you asked if you're going to be doing a loss. Your first couple auctions, no. Your third or fourth one, you'll start noticing that trend downward, and then you'll start building. Like, literally, your YouTube audience plus your WhatNot audience are going to start coming together, and you're going to start this climb. And that's what we did. And that's what's happening to us now, is that people are like, these guys are great. They're selling cool shirts, and they're reselling, you know, and so forth. So,
do you think that I could be good if I swapped it up every week, or just stick with the category, learn the platform, and possibly as you grow, then you can stretch outside your category?
I feel like the second one.
Okay.
I feel like
that way you don't have to worry about the things you're selling as much as you have to worry about making it go well on the app and learning the app.
It's just like YouTube, right? You know, consistency breeds growth. Yeah. And the more consistent you are, the more people can depend on you. They know there's a Tuesday night auction, Adam's selling action figures every Tuesday night, and I'm gonna check them out because I like them. You know, that helps. But then, like, Sarah watches a guy that sells t-shirts. He's the t-shirt maven. Like, this guy is incredible, and it's all he does is sell t-shirts. He buys t-shirts and sells t-shirts his whole life.
Yes, and that's what he said. He doesn't do anything else but buy and sell t-shirts.
That's nuts,
he does not watch the news. He does not have
he has a smartphone for WhatNot only.
Yep. Yeah. He uses a flip phone, and all he does is buy, sell, and wash t-shirts.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But he's started throwing in action figure things, and this is after a couple months on WhatNot. He started doing an action figure auction, and it's working for him, because people are like, dude's cool, he's honest, I can trust him. But his prices might not be as good as like Dave's prices on the same G.I. Joes, for instance, or something like that. But it's working for him. So if I were you, I'd say start somewhere, get good at it, get consistent at it, start growing it, and then throw another auction there. Because we did the opposite, and we were like, we'll do a toy auction on Monday and a t-shirt auction on Tuesday, and the toy auction sucked, and then the t-shirt auction was good, and we were like, why are we doing the toy auction at all? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
And it's just a lot to do 2 in a row like that.
Right.
It's a lot.
As much as you've talked about it, and as much as I've learned from you about it, I could see why it would be a lot. And first off, let me take this last couple of minutes to thank you both again for coming on here, teaching me, teaching the audience. If for any reason whatsoever you have not subscribed to Pittsburgh Picker, the link is in the description down below. It'd be great if you could click it, hit that sub button, hit a couple of likes, and watch a couple of videos and leave some comments, because that's what really drives the YouTube algorithm. I'm going to drop the YouTube link for Adam's show that's about to start right after this. And hopefully that's clickable. But guys, thank you again so much for joining me tonight. Chad, thanks for hanging out. Hey, this has been awesome. I've got a million more questions still.
We can do part 2 whenever you want.
We might need to do a part 2 in a few weeks. Maybe I'll go to the bin sometime and see if I can start a collection. I really like, Sarah, your idea. And I know you say you got it from somebody else. I don't remember who you say you got it from. I'll take a t-shirt
the bag,
and start stuffing other t-shirts in that one t-shirt.
I got that from the guy that only sells t-shirts, and like, that's all he does with his life. That's who I got it from.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna steal that idea.
I actually message him a lot on Instagram because he like taught me about the bleaching of the shirts and all kinds of stuff. So he's a really cool guy.
I like the way you put the custom spin on some of your shirts with the bleaching and whatnot.
Yeah, something I see that's like ruined, I'm like, I can totally make this awesome.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Sarah. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.